All right, it smelled good on the car, but now it just smells like robot. Hi guys, so I've been working on the MR2. What's up with my accent today? So this morning I went to wash my car, and when I finished I looked outside and I saw the MR2 sitting there and it was covered in just like crap. I felt bad, so I pulled the car in the garage and I washed it. If you're new to my channel and you haven't seen my past videos, what I want to do with this MR2 project is get as much done as far as restoring the car before we get the JDM rear clip in it. All in all, I think the paint on this car is in great condition. It's not going to take a lot of work to make this thing look good again. There's some panels that actually have to be repainted, like the driver side front fender and a bunch of stuff in the back, like the hood, trunk hood, trunk. Whatever. That thing needs to get painted. The rear spoiler needs to be resprayed. Obviously, these panels need to be resprayed. If you look up here on the roof, see there's some chips up here. The hood, everything will be able to come out with a cut and a buff. Same with the doors. Doors are all good. Surprisingly, there is almost no door dings on this entire car. There are a few dings back here. See if I can get them on camera. You can see them a little bit. See the waviness? The paint work that needs to be done on this car, I've decided I want to learn how to paint cars. So I love painting and I'm pretty artistic, so I figured why not give it a shot. And these little panels that need to get resprayed on this car, I want to try to respray them myself. I mean, worst that happens, they just need to get sanded and resprayed again. So it's something I want to learn how to do, and I'm gonna give it a shot. So kind of excited. So today I'm going to do a video at Grocery Getter Garage. It is a paint and body shop here in Tucson, Arizona, and they're working on a Integra Type R, doing a full paint. Today they're doing cut and buff, so I just figured I'd make a video of this and show you guys what they're working on. So this is where they're at with it. So now it's just the wet sanding process, which Fred is going to be showing me how exactly to wet sand, so eventually I can start doing it.
First thing is you're trying to get the right balance of water on the panel, because if you add too much, it's kind of feel like your paper is almost gliding across the surface and it's not really cutting.
Right.
That's what he does all the time, and that's why it takes him twice as long to do everything.
Oh, the shade. So you basically have to judge the tension in your hands and know.
It's something that you kind of just get a feel for as you do it. To me, it's just like a little drizzle of water is just the right amount. Like I said, too much, and essentially you're taking the film of the water and your paper is just kind of gliding across. Instead of acting as a lubricant, it's more acting like a barrier. And that's the drawback of these blocks, little plexi blocks, is they're super cool and everything, but they don't really have like a true handle. Like I make these ones out of gaffer's tape. So like when you have the stick-it paper on the backside, it's actually a halfway decent handle, but with this stuff, it's kind of like you're like pinching it around and stuff to try to make it work. But you can't really beat these blocks, especially for wet sanding and buffing. So this will kind of give you a little bit better idea of what I'm talking about, right? So you can see it cutting, right? But you catch it from that side angle and you still see that orange peel, right? We've got a real minor fisheye here, real minor fisheye right there.
So you're going until that is all one consistency.
Yep, and a lot of this stuff's kind of boring because it's just uber repetitive.
I literally will watch an hour-long YouTube video of someone doing this.
Really?
Yeah, I'm serious. I'll sit there and eat dinner and watch an hour of someone painting and sanding and do all kinds of stuff. I don't know. I don't get bored of watching it.
Yeah. You got to be sure that you keep the panel real nice and clean. So I'm always, wiping it, putting fresh water on.
Yeah, because you don't want to drag trash across it and scratch it.
Literally, all it takes is that one little piece of dirt or dust or something to fall out of the air and onto the panel. You hit it with the paper and just... You'll actually hear it. Kind of sounds like micro nails on a chalkboard. So how is it when you clay bar something, it doesn't destroy your paint? That's what I never understood, because you're literally dragging crap across your paint when you clay bar. It's because of the compound, like what it's actually, the clay composite that it is. It sucks the dirt up into it as opposed to kind of leaving it, like on the surface. Right. Right. So this doesn't absorb anything that I'm cutting across. So it's going to take a little piece of dirt, it's going to stick it, and it's just going to drag it through the paint. That stuff's wild though. I get what you're saying. Like sometimes
Yeah.
It just doesn't really make sense.
Like when I was claying the back of my car 2 weeks ago, it was just sound like sandpaper. I'm like, how is this not destroying my paint?
Yeah. But you wiped it down and it was fine, right?
Yeah, it was absolutely fine after. It's so pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, those dry carbon? So behind me is a K-swapped Civic Time Attack car. What else did you do to this?
We've done almost everything. We did the brakes, I did the radiator install, the engine, transmission, wiring. We did the full exhaust on it, adjusted all the suspension on it for track use. 3 days after I put the K in it, we took it to Musselman. They had one of their little time attack events there, and I won the class that this was in.
You can see the edges where it's still...
Yeah, you see I'm leaving the edges alone with this because like I said, it's real harsh and I don't want to hit it with that heavier grit. I still, like I said, I still do go over it though because I want to make sure it's all nice and uniformly smooth. I just use the softer block with a lighter sandpaper, 2000 or 2500 instead of 1500.
Immaculate inside there too.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Well, I mean, it's got a little bit of dirt, but
yeah.
This body line or any of the edges and stuff, I'm using that softer pad with a finer grit paper, just so I'm not taking too much millage off there, and also so I don't have a real aggressive scratch right along that body line. I don't have to really sit there and rail it with the buffer to try to get it out.
If you were sanding it, would you go along like as close as you can to where it like transitions, or would you go all the way across?
I would just work across it, just like yay.
Oh yeah, it's really squishy.
Yeah, and it's like I said, it's a finer grit paper. I'll use 2000 or 2500, but it's just to keep that uniform gloss, so you don't wind up with the weird, like I said, the weird edges or the weird tops where you've got a lot of orange peel and then it's super flat. You just see it a lot, and it's essentially just people wanting to cut corners. I get where they're coming from, right? It's like people don't want to pay for paint work anymore, and
yeah.
They're just trying to save a little bit of time so that they can still do a decent product, and
that's why vinyl wraps are getting more and more popular.
Yeah, some places can get a car wrapped in a day or two.
Oh, really?
A lot of the bigger shops, they have 8-9 installers, and they're turning around cars in 1 to 2 days. It's got its place, and that's why we do it. It helps us keep that business in the door sometimes when people don't want to pay for paint work. I
think it's a good option too if you have like a brand new car and you want to preserve the original paint. Just wrap it instead of putting a clear bra in it.
Yeah, definitely. One little micro fisheye still right there that isn't quite sanded out. The thing about these though is they're deceiving because sometimes they won't look all that bad. Like that doesn't look like anything right now, but I'll go to polish that out and it'll stand out a lot more than it does.
That's true, because the more perfect the rest of the panel is, the more it's going to stand out, because it's going to be like the lonely little fisheye in the entire panel.
So I'm probably going to call that like area good for now. I'm going to go around the gas flap and this body line, and then along this ridge here and around the tail light. And honestly, the gas flap, just because it doesn't have a big surface area, I'm not going to take this block and try to sand this the gas flap. I'm going to take the smaller block with the finer grit. So this is the compound he's using to cut the paint with, and he got it at SEMA this year. So it's 3D. It smells. Alright, it smelled good on the car, but now it just smells like robot. It's too on panels like this, like the big center section of this door.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be putting any pressure on the buffer, and I'm just going to be kind of letting the compound and the pad do its work. A lot of these newer sheet metals,
they get hot and they flex.
Yeah, they're thin. Along these crash reinforcement bars and stuff, behind the doors, or the webbing on the hood, or roof, or trunk, the adhesive behind there, where they actually glue the panel, will get hot, from the friction of the buffing. And it'll take that glue and soften it a little bit, and if you're putting too much pressure on the buffer, you're gonna press the panel into the glue, right? It's gonna cure, and you're actually gonna make dents, because it's gonna that glue's gonna harden back up, and it's gonna hold that panel down. Alright guys, I'm back in my go away. That's a really big bug. Sorry. Okay guys, I'm back in my garage. As you just saw, I went to Grocery Getter Garage and I got educated on, yes I said educated wrong, someone's gonna put that in the comment section, how to color sand a car. So my goal is to be able to apply the techniques that I learned. Obviously I didn't learn how to be a professional at this in one day, but I'm going to be practicing on Mr. Dose. Now because we have that front fender that needs to be replaced, it's a perfect spot for me to practice color sanding on. And then once I get it down, I'm going to move my way down to the rest of the car because the whole car needs to be color sanded. But first, unfortunately, I need to clay bar the whole car. I'd just sooner start with a fresh slate. So here goes.
guys are wondering what I'm using for lube. I'm using Chemical Guy synthetic quick detail spray to lube the clay bar with, which I am almost out, so I just ordered another 128 ounce jug of the stuff. Now, there is a lot of overspray on the rear vents of the car from whoever owned it before. They tried painting the engine bay, I think, or something, and there was black overspray down there. So what I did was I took some of this rubbing compound, this stuff right here, 3M rubbing compound. I was using this and just a little foam pad, and I buffed for like 25 minutes on that entire panel down below, and I got all the overspray off. It was a pain. It took like 25 minutes to get all this off, so check it out. There's only a tiny bit left right inside here and a little bit down inside there that I'm gonna get when I do the wet sanding on the car, because the rubbing compound just wasn't pulling it up. So, and then now that the car is completely clay barred, I can wet sand the car, which I'm gonna be doing in another video because this is already quite a bit in this video. I'm gonna go back to Grocery Getter Garage to get some more education on this whole color sanding process. Hopefully this video holds you over just a little bit on Mr. Dose. We're getting very close to getting the rear cut for it, so that's gonna be coming soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video of me learning stuff and hope you guys learned too. And if you guys want to check out Grocery Getter Garage, I linked to their Facebook page down below, and I will see you guys soon with another video. Bye.